Hey guys, Lizardlea here for day 16 of Four Heavenly Beasts, the Heaven and Earth design. So that is my progress from day 15. So yeah, I didn't get a lot done. I wasn't feeling well. David's been not feeling well this whole week. He hasn't been feeling great. So hopefully I can make it through this. I believe. I'm about to begin a new book series. It's Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Right? Sanderson. So I really liked the Dresden Files, so I trust David to allow me to read books I will like, but, you know, that will kill off my favorite characters and make me cry a lot. So if anyone would like to read along or anything. Okay, we're just gonna start now.
Alrighty, we're recording. So, I just finished watching Bakano earlier this week, and now I have seen that, and it was interesting. I did like it. It was super weird. Like, I kept recognizing voice actors, which was really cool. And then it was like, oh yeah, there's alchemy and immortal people, and I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I thought this was just like a murder mystery on a train, and it was
not
so much more than that. Like, I don't even.
That's why I didn't want to spoil it, because I wanted that reaction. Of what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. Because, like, I mean, it starts off, and it seems fairly normal. Like, you've got the weird people, Miria and Isaac, who are just very odd, but, you know, endearing and adorable, and I loved them.
Yes.
And they were digging for gold. Bless you.
Excuse me.
And just very, very weird. And then you have, what was the blonde guy who wanted to kill his girlfriend? Crazy dude in the white suit.
Oh, Lad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lad was a freak. Like, he was obsessed with killing his girlfriend, but he couldn't do that until other people who didn't want to die more were killed first. I don't know, it was weird. The little boy who is voiced by Alphonse in Brotherhood was adorable. He gave a fake name, and then he gave his real name. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Ches, yes. That was his nickname.
Yes, because his real name's difficult.
Yes, it was very difficult. I can't remember it. I liked him, and it was really, really horrible that... Was it his sibling?
No, it was his
Or was it a friend?
basically.
So, like, they all became immortals. And...
On a boat.
On a boat. They were on a boat. And they... It was with a demon, or, like, it was a deal with a demon or something. And the demon was like, yeah, you know, if you guys want to pass knowledge to one another, you put your right hand on someone's head, and you just think of knowledge, and, you know, they'll have everything. And then he was like, and then if one of you wants to die, all you have to do is put your right hand on their head and think, I want to eat. So they were like, you know, if you don't want to be immortal forever, just find another immortal and be like, yeah, man, I want to die. And they'll be able to do it. Which I was like, oh, okay, so the last one standing doesn't get to die ever because he's going to live forever. But then I guess they kind of solved that with the one who, like, summoned the demon or whatever knew how to recreate the elixir or whatever that they drank that made them immortal. So it's like, okay, you know, if you want to make somebody else immortal, you'd be like, okay, you've been immortal for like a year now. I want you to touch my head and think eaten. Okay, I'm dead now. So, I don't know. Still weird though. But I felt horrible for him because one of his friends on the ship or whatever that he went home with literally just tortured him, trying to find out what the immortals could go through.
It was his guardians, basically.
His guardian. Okay. See, that's why I was thinking like sibling, but
yeah, no.
I mean, an older sibling is kind of a guardian. Like, it fits. It worked in my head. Okay.
Yes, he does horrible things to him.
Absolutely horrible. Like, hot pokers in his eyes, throwing him in a vat of acid. Like, horrible. And so I felt horrible for that kid. Thankfully, he was very happy in the end. He was reunited with one of the nice immortals from the boat, and it looked like he was just going to have, a happy immortal life. The rail tracer was absolutely terrifying, and one of my favorite characters. He was murdering, like, everyone on the train, and had ridiculous superpowers. And was just absolutely terrifying. And then he fell in love with the mute girl on the train, and he went after her, and he was like, "Will you marry me?" And, she nodded. So it was like, done deal, all right.
It was a simpler time.
I'm skipping through things. It's fine. I don't have to go over every single minute thing.
Yeah, we'd be here a while.
We would. It was lots of details. I mean, I will say, like, I don't think they should cut it, but the girl and the guy at the beginning and then at the end who were like, "Oh yeah, you can't really pick a main character, it's a big story," was kind of, like, very separated from the rest of the show. Like,
they're the vice president and the...
Yeah, of, like, the newspaper or whatever?
Yes. The guy behind the desk with the bazillions of papers who has a sugar cube.
Yes. He wasn't the one with the sugar cube. It was one of his lackeys that had
and he had a sugar cube.
Yes, he ate one.
Yes.
He did not have the sugar cubes.
He said, "I will have one."
You're a dork. I don't know. Both times that they showed up, I felt very pulled away from the rest of the story.
Alright. That's fair.
I really liked Jacuzzi, and I remembered his name just because that name is ridiculous. That is not a name, but he was adorable.
Yes. Liz, arbiter of names.
I mean, when they stand out, that's when you remember them. I think my favorite scene, though, was with Isaac and Miria when they were in, like, 2013 or something, and they're still dressed up like they're in the 70s, and they're walking along, and they're taking, like, people's cell phones and talking about microwave waves and how it's not safe. And then he was like, Isaac turned to her, and he was like, "I don't think we've aged in, like, 70 years." Like, that is how long it took them to figure out that they were immortal.
Yes.
And it was so good.
Yes.
And then, of course, they're like, every day is our birthday. Miria was voiced by Winry, by the way. So,
Yes.
brotherhood, woot woot. Were there more memorable scenes for you?
Let's see. To me, the stuff that sticks out was always the rail tracer stuff, just because it was so out there and interesting. Like, and as I already told you, like, one of the things I really like about this show is it starts kind of grounded, but it's got a huge cast of really out there characters. And, like, very, very early on, this author really likes to do sort of silly power level stuff where, like, okay, so you're a tough guy with a gun, fine, alright. Well, this guy is so tough that, he's going to punch you to death. And you will not be able to hit him. And he will be able to, take ridiculous beatings and stuff like that. And that's Lad, and he's obviously a complete and utter psychopath.
Yes.
With some major damage. And, he's going through and like, okay, here's our lunatic bad guy, for this show, fine, cool. And it turns out he's the small fish in the pond.
Yes.
And then he has a really interesting, warped conversation where he's arguing quasi-philosophy with the big fish in the pond, which is Claire. And it's just so weird, because, like, neither one of them has even close to a normal slant on reality. and it's just really interesting. Like, I've never seen that kind of like, you know, I like unique things, and that was definitely unique, and that was also just well executed and well done. It was really neat to see, you know, how ridiculous Claire was, how ridiculous Lad was, how ridiculous everything else was. So yeah, those scenes are the ones that mainly stick out, or ones that revolve around them. I liked the gangster timeline stuff, but it's not as big of a deal. I remember the Dallas reveal being like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, how he was put in a barrel, and that's why in the opening credits you see him drowning.
Yeah, with cards and a barrel. Yeah, like, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, I will say, the last 3 episodes were a bit different from the rest, and it turns out it's because they were released later. But I wasn't a big fan of the guy who carried the wrench that was like Lad's lackey or whatever.
Yeah, I'd never.
I was
seen
not
him
a fan
before.
of him.
Well, so yeah, as I checked,
he was like another crazy character, but he wasn't interesting the way the other crazy characters.
So I'll do the same rant I did when I talked to you about it. So what Liz is talking about, I had never seen 2 episodes because they came out after the show aired.
2 or 3?
Maybe 3. I think it was actually 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because I was like, wait, it's over. Why is there more? Because there was. So it introduces this character who has a giant wrench, and he talks a lot, and blah 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 blah. And what's odd is he is the same reason why I don't enjoy Durarara as much, because something about him is less elegant. Like, Lad and Claire are completely ridiculous characters. Like, no human being is anywhere near like that in any way, shape, or form. But they're still interesting, and they're still somehow believable. Their motivations, their actions, the way they behave makes me believe that these are characters in a story. Whereas the wrench guy makes me feel like the author is having fun writing the wrench guy. And I'm not really into it. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, this is a character you wanted to do, and you did it, and you didn't do it in a way that I... Like, you're just kind of... He's more character than he is person, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me as someone who watched it.
Yes.
His character was just... There were so many other people that were, you know, crazy too, but I came out of it liking them. You know, whether it was because I liked to hate them or because I actually liked them, didn't matter. I just liked them. But this guy, like, every time he came on screen, I just rolled my eyes and that was how it always was. Like, he plateaued from his entrance to his exit.
Yeah.
He never changed.
And he really did anything interesting either.
No, he really didn't. Like, the most interesting thing was that he kidnapped the mute girl, and the rail tracer was like, dude, you can't kill me. Like, try. And then he just flips over him, and a human being cannot do that from standing. You have to run and get momentum in order to jump that high. So you're just like, oh, yeah.
He's never skipped, like...
Don't want to mess with this crazy guy. So, yeah. Oh, the handsome man is walking away. What else? Does he have it pulled up? The Notorious B.E. I don't know what he has pulled up.
I doth return.
I don't know what that is.
The next one is, you want me to talk about Kenshin?
Go for it. I guess we're moving on.
Well, I mean, did you have more you wanted to say about Bakano?
I mean, I was thinking, but nothing was coming to mind. My favorite parts I mentioned, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered it. Like, you can obviously go really deep into Bakano if you want, but...
I mean, the guy who tortured the mouse that was immortal, I didn't like him.
Yeah, well...
And he died, and it was great. It was beautiful.
Well,
Dude was just like, I want to eat. And then the homunculus that he had created, which, another callback to Brotherhood, was just like... Wait, where was I going with that?
I don't know. I forgot what we were doing.
No, I forgot what I was doing.
I know.
Yeah, she was like, you need to put your hand on his head and say, I want to eat. And then he was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And he did it. And then she's like, oh, I'm dying, you know, like, you need to put your hand on my head and say you want to eat so you can have my memories. And then he just poked her, and she was all better. And he was like, yeah, like, I knew how to do that. She was like, oh, yeah, you took the memories of my creator and he knows how to heal me, so now you do. And I was like, yeah, girl!
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Also, Miria and Isaac were there. They were great.
And also Miri and Isaac, yes.
Yes, they were wonderful in every scene they were in. Like, when they rescued Ches, was that his name?
Ches, yeah.
When they rescued him from when he was tied underneath the train,
Yeah.
they were adorable. His arm was healing, so like the blood was just trickling up the train to get back to him. And they were like, "Oh my god, no, it's the rail tracer, we have to protect him!" And they jumped on him, and the blood just went around them. And they're like, "Oh, the rail tracer probably only goes after bad boys," and it realized he was a good boy, so it gave him his arm back. Like, it was so funny. Because Jess is just sitting there like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go with that, you guys."
Yeah, okay, that's possible.
That was a great scene. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay, so next on our list is Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin, which we know someone who really likes it. John.
Yes, John loves it.
But it's interesting. I think Kenshin has some really, really, really great moments, but it shows its age in a couple of ways. So first of all, I guess the plot is this retired samurai from, like, you know, I want to say Edo period, but I don't know my Japanese history that well. But, you know, like, there's been one of those wars, and he was a major samurai mercenary assassin, something like that, during that time, and he's since then decided to not do that anymore. And so there's a character who runs a martial arts studio or a sword style studio thing, I don't know what you call it, and she happens upon him, and, you know, he starts living there and hanging out and helping around, and, you know, you get your cast of characters introduced over the first couple of episodes, and that's pretty much the setup, is he just kind of wants to be left alone and live his life. What's moderately interesting is that he has a reverse blade sword because he doesn't want to kill anymore, so his sword on the edge that would normally be sharp is dull, and instead the back of the sword is sharp. So he still technically could theoretically kill people, but he's not supposed to / gonna make it as easy. I'm not really sure what they were going for there, but that's the idea. So have you seen this?
Didn't we watch it?
You started watching it.
I honestly don't remember anything about it.
That's fair.
Like, I don't.
There's some really, really, really good scenes in that show. But it is very slow to start. Oh my god, I forgot how slow it was. Because, like, I used to, again, another one I just watched on TV when it was on. So it's slow, and that's rough. And it does some very cliche stuff, like, okay, let's introduce the characters, let's finally have his past catch up with them, let's have lots of fun, lighthearted stuff, then all of a sudden let's have it get, whoa, things are serious now. And then it's got filler. I usually make it to the boat arc, because boat arcs are terrible. Whenever there's a boat in an anime, things are about to go poorly, plot-wise. And that's generally where I stop, other than I've caught bits and pieces after that. And I know that there are some really good scenes there, but man, is it rough. They do not... I'm not saying they don't... Yeah, I'm saying they don't pace it well.
I think we started it, and I was just so uninterested that I did not continue.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
It was not up my alley.
It is very good, especially if you can stick it out, but it's almost like it needs an abridged or a Dragon Ball Kai sort of thing where, like, they just cut so much, like, if they made some recap movies, which I don't think maybe they did. I don't know, we should check those out if they exist. Because there's one movie that they made that's really good, which is about when he was not who he became, basically, but when he was back doing his job, you know, prequel stuff. And that's pretty fun, just lots of cool fight scenes sort of style. But, yeah, the actual normal plot's a little ridiculous and a little slow and a little plotting. And John's gonna hate me for all of this.
He won't watch my videos, no.
How do you... He might watch them every day. For all you
No,
know.
I
Probably
don't think
listens
so.
to them in the car, Liz.
Nah, I'm not that interesting.
And takes notes.
No. Oh, would you like to tell everyone what you said in the car the other day?
Which
About the poker app?
It's better than Prince?
I would just like everyone to know I am sending the evil glare you feel at my boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
Because as the person who knows the full poker app, I can promise you that you are wrong.
Yeah.
You can't pick a single song over an entire artist's collection. You can't.
But I just did.
And you're wrong, honey. And everyone agrees with me. Even if you dislike Prince, it's still no. You're not gonna pick the poker app over Prince. I'm sorry, honey. You're wrong. You're handsome,
Pokemon?
but you're wrong.
Poker rap. There, end of discussion.
Did you say something about a Pokemon?
Which one has Pokemon? The poker rap. There, winner.
No, honey. I
Nice,
love you.
easy
but
conditional rule.
You're wrong. You're so handsome. All right, what's the next one? Or did you have more? I literally, yeah. I think I watched like the first episode and it was just like, no.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure
I
that
could be
fast.
wrong.
Yeah,
I literally don't remember.
I would probably just show you some of the cool scenes. Like, you don't even necessarily need the context for 90% of them. I remember there's one big scene where it's kind of the first big fight, the end of the first serious arc where, like, you know, all the villains he's been fighting get betrayed, and it turns out that there's a bigger villain, and so all the villains he's been fighting sacrifice themselves to save him, so that he can defeat the villain who betrayed them.
Okay.
Well, they're mercenaries, so, like, they're not inherently... like,
evil, but
they're
they
not
don't do
good
good
people.
things.
Yeah, they're not good people, but they're not, like, you know, baby-killing evil sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And instead, this other guy betrays
They're the
them.
gray matter.
Yeah, and so one of them survives, and I remember thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool when he comes back? And I don't believe I ever got to that point.
Oh.
I did get to the one point which John loves, and that's, I think, the high point of the series, because throughout that, up to this point, they've been kind of playing with the idea that Kenshin is struggling with his darker nature, because he is, like, ridiculously powerful. His sword style is, you know, that he sheathes his sword, then he unsheaths the sword as fast as he can when he strikes. And he is obscenely powerful, and I think if I recall correctly, that's because his teacher is just, like, God on Earth powerful.
Oh!
Yeah, like, he makes Kenshin look like a wuss.
Okay.
Yeah, just completely unfair, ridiculous stuff. And he has absolutely no compunctions about killing anyone who pisses him off whatsoever. So,
That's
this
even more
person's
terrifying.
horribly dangerous. And Kenshin is, in comparison
he doesn't want
to
to
everyone...
kill anybody, right?
Right, he doesn't
Yeah.
want to kill anyone anymore. And so the idea is kind of like Kenshin is really technically, by the standards of the person who taught him this, a weakling, and he's still so much more above everyone else when he's trying. So that when he doesn't try, it's a fair fight sort of thing. So, of course, the people he cares about constantly get put in situations where they're going to die.
Of course.
Unless Kenshin does something, and then they're like, well, are you going to kill them? Are you going to do it? Blah, 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 blah. So they play with that a lot. And then he finally gets in this fight with this one guy who was, like, his rival from back then. And it's the one scene where he, like, lets go and kind of, like, tries again. Like, he's, like, just given up on being good again and, like, nope, I'm going to fight to kill and all that.
Oh.
And that fight scene is really, really, really good. So if you're, like, not interested in this at all, but you like samurai stuff, look up Kenshin fights. I'm not going to remember the guy's name. But it's really well done, and it's such a shame because it's kind of short. And after that, Kenshin, like, conquers his demon, and that's, like, maybe a third of the way through the anime, and it never gets raised again. Like, that's it. He's never going to struggle with this again.
Oh.
Even fighting more powerful people and whatnot. But yeah, no, it had a really good build-up. They got there, and it was really interesting, and then I was like, well, that was the peak. Even though maybe it's not, it definitely just did not feel like war. Like, I could begin to care after that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Kenshin. Next up, I've got No Game, No Life, which I'll be brief on. It's this anime that's, like, rated quite highly. Like, for example, it's 100 and whatever on this list. That it really doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. I like hate that this is an anime that's like mentioned as like, oh yeah, this is what anime's about, because it's kind of disgusting. It has lots of good moments. It had a good concept. Well, had a dumb concept executed well, which is the whole like
I don't even know what it's about. I don't remember.
kid and his younger sister are like really really they're neats is the word in Japan, NEET. I don't know if you heard what.
I said okay.
Okay, yeah, so you haven't heard it. And the idea is they're like, and for example, I think they're high schoolers, but it's the idea of someone who like isn't really productive in society. Like there's no place for them. They're not necessarily incapable of being productive, but at the same time, that's the idea. But also like it's taken to the nth level where they're just basically otaku nerds, but they're brilliant at all the games they play, and so they just play games. And then someone notices that they're so good at the games, they get transported to another world. So it's an isekai sort of thing where the other world is games are played as a way of waging war, and so of course now they're brilliant and strategists. And so there were some really cool ideas and executions in here, but then there's just a lot of really gross fan servicey stuff in my opinion. And it was a shame because it was like kind of a neat idea at first. I'm like, well, I can put up with some of this junk, but then like by the end, the neat ideas had already been played out. Like, okay, you've already shown off all the cool things you thought of, and now you're just doing whatever leads to faster fan service junk, and I just was really not impressed at all. So, personally, not my thing. Would not recommend unless that sounds like it's your thing. Because
I mean, I guess everybody always tells you that Fairy Tail is all about fan service, but I love that show. I haven't finished it, but I love it.
I can also observe this fact from the character designs.
Well, yeah, but there's so much more. Like,
oh yeah, no,
we haven't talked about Fairy Tail, and I can't do a lot because I want you to at least give it a shot one day.
I will give it a shot one day.
There are wizards, and they can choose to be in a guild, and so like they're your teammates, and you meet Lucy, who is the main character and is very fan servicey. She has big boobs, nice pretty blonde hair. Yada yada yada. She has celestial keys, so she can summon the celestial spirits. Sagittarius, Aries, all of these ones. It's super, super cool. I really love her powers. Yes, she has to get all 12. Yes. She can actually do it compared to Ash, who, gets rid of his Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Dum dum. Anyways. Ash wants to be a Pokemon master, and he has no idea what he's doing. So...
Dear Ash Ketchum!
You are a dum-dum. I became a Pokemon master in middle school.
A letter to the editor of Pokemon. Good sir!
Yes. Natsu is the other main character, and he was raised by a dragon. And he can breathe fire, and he can do fire magic. And it's awesome. And you get to meet Dragneil, his dragon father, in like flashbacks and stuff. It's cool. Natsu, by the way, in the English dub, is voiced by Ling from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood! How many of these can I do? I can go on. Anyways,
it's probably just easier to read their IMDb page.
But it's more fun when I can just figure it out for myself. He has a pet flying cat named Happy, who was my favorite character the first time I watched it, and I still love him now. I don't know if I have a favorite character so much anymore, but he's adorable. You learn more about him further along into the show. Another one of the big main characters is Gray, who uses ice magic. He's a badass. And he is known for taking off his clothes. You don't see anything below the belt, but, it's implied that he's naked. And it's funny because it's a callback to his teacher, who was also an ice mage. And she was like, you gotta be able to just live with the cold. You're gonna be doing ice magic. So just take off your clothes, you gotta be cold. It's funny. I think it's funny. Whatever.
I believe you think it's funny.
But, one of the strongest characters on the show is Erza Scarlet. I freaking love her. She has a quip magic. which is, she uses her magic and it changes her clothes. So 1 minute she can just be in her regular suit of armor, which is what she generally walks around in. And then the next moment, she... What? What? The next moment she's in, workout clothes. So it's all about speed and offense, but she's got no defense. And then, what is it, Heaven's Field? Is that what it is? I don't remember the name of them. It's a gigantic suit of armor with wings, and she's just got swords everywhere, and it's just all about offense, and it's so cool. The one character that I was like, oh, I might be able to cosplay as her one day was Kana, because she's a brunette. That was mostly the thing. She has brown hair.
Low standards, huh?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what it got to, because all the characters that I generally really like tend to be not brunettes. And it's like, I'm not going to dye my hair or wear a wig if I'm going to cosplay. I'm just going to wear my hair.
There you go, hair.
Yes. Kana uses cards. She'll throw it out and it'll summon something. It's so cool. There's just so many cool powers. That's what I really like about the show, is the mangaka obviously, thought really hard about it and came up with some really unique ways to fight. And I said, whoa, good golly, sir, don't do that.
Don't do what?
So yeah, I think you should give Fairy Tail a chance. It's your turn now.
Okay, so
We're
that's
obviously
Fairy Tail.
not going along with the list anymore.
Well, no, I'm going down it. Iron-Blooded Orphans is a
Fairy Tail
Gundam.
wasn't on there
I'm
yet.
going to kind of hard sweep all Gundam in this. I did first on that one. I tried watching it. I made it an episode in, and I was just like, nah, because when you've seen one Gundam, you feel like you've seen them all, and that's not necessarily fair to all the Gundam stuff out there, because I haven't tried that hard, and I've seen arguably some of the worst Gundam, not some of the best. The formative stuff for me was Wing, Seed, Destiny, and whatever the heck else happened in that era. We don't talk about G Gundam. And Iron-Blooded Orphans looked okay, but it was just yep, okay, you're a good guy. Yep, okay, it's sad. Yep, okay, war is terrible. Yep, okay, this guy's a bad guy. How do you know? Because look at him. Look how he's drawn. He's drawn like a bad guy.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah, and if that were the case, I might have been more interested. But no, he was a bumbling idiot, because he was drawn like a bumbling idiot. And Gundam has some really cool stuff in it. The Gundam Thunderbolt movie is really, 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 really good. But Gundam in general, is not my thing anymore. I like mecha, I like seeing all the cool mechs and whatnot, but just, I've seen what they do with it, and Gundam feels like they're stuck in a loop, where they're, okay, yep, colony drop, okay, yep, look, some of the good guys aren't good guys, oh, wait, some of the bad guys aren't so bad, and we're teaming up and defeating all the evil people, yeah, it just...
Ava won!
Yes, dear. Accurate.
That is my favorite robot to date.
So that is my take on Iron-Blooded Orphans. Next up is Space Dandy, which I watched a little bit of, because it's by... I don't remember who it's by, but the people involved are a big deal. But I couldn't quite click for it. So to give Liz a relevant data point, the animation in Space Dandy at times is reminiscent of Redline.
I loved that movie. That was so good.
Yes, it was, and I believe that's because there's some of the same people working on it. I could be wrong. I have no idea what I'm talking about 90% of the time, so don't trust anything I say. But
they already don't.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Called you out on your lies.
I still haven't figured out that I'm an AI that you programmed. So.
Oh yeah, right. You're too hot for that.
I see, dear. So.
I'm not that skilled.
It definitely has chops. But it's also, it's definitely... I'm not sure who it's aimed at. I guess it's aimed at, kind of the otaku crowd, because there's a lot of in-jokes that you're only going to get if you're into, well, maybe it's not even otaku, but just Japanese culture in general. Mm. There's an entire episode about ramen. And it's interesting, but I don't know enough about ramen to care that much about ramen. And I really like ramen. I know several places in town to get ramen. I have my friends take me to good places when I go and get ramen, but It's so random and so weird, and it's very episodic. I don't know if it eventually actually has a plot, but it didn't when I stopped, which was not many episodes in, to be fair. But yeah, it's very beautiful. I've heard good things about it from people who finished, but I've also been told by them, but like, yeah, you probably wouldn't like it anyway, so don't bother.
Oh.
So it's at least quality. Like, I'm not hand-waving as like, oh god, it's trash, kind of like No Game, No Life, but like, it's, if you're into anime and you haven't seen it somehow, like, maybe check it out, because you might like it way more than I did. Or not. I don't know. So that's my talk there. Next up is Inuyasha.
I guarantee you have seen more episodes than me, so you can probably explain the basics of it better than me.
Dog boy and schoolgirl have dysfunctional relationship. Hijinks ensue.
No, she's going after the shards of the...
Of his ex, yeah.
The what?
His ex's jewelry.
Oh, his ex, yeah. Kikyo. Okay, I did see enough to know that I preferred Inuyasha with Kagome, not Kikyo.
Kikyo!
I didn't like her. And I also knew I preferred Sashomaru over Inuyasha.
Yeah, I mean,
and
so...
that's it. No, my favorite character, though, was the cat. The girl with the boomerang, her cat.
Her cat.
Her cat. The one that would be tiny and
Sango
then big.
And...
That one. I did like Sango, but her little cat fox thing was the best.
The one character that couldn't talk, right? Okay, so...
It's the cutest thing in the world. I don't care.
Yes.
It could literally, every other word out of its mouth could be the F word, and it would still be my favorite, just based on how cute it is.
Yes, dear. So, I actually watched most of Inuyasha, because again, it was on during that time, and I enjoyed it. Like, it was fun.
Kirara. I googled it.
Yeah, Kirara.
Kirara.
And, it's odd in that as I got older, I was like, you know what, I should watch Inuyasha and, finish it off. And, yeah, it's aged a little rough. It's slow. It does all the tropes. And I eventually finished it, I think, but, I left it on while I did other things. And it doesn't quite live up to what it does, because it's one of those things where I don't know if the manga or whatever the source material is this way, or if it was just straight to anime, but they clearly had a good idea, they clearly executed well, and then they clearly kind of lost where they were going with it. Things that are supposed to be a really big deal are introduced in one episode, and then, 3 episodes later, those are no longer a big deal. We spend God knows how long before Inuyasha gets his sword, then we spend God knows how long before he can use the sword to do the wind scar thing or whatever. And then he's doing it, 4 times a fight, just because it's, inconvenient. We have one episode where I remember, I really like Sashomaru as well. No, not Sashomaru. Freaking, what's his name?
The guy that had
the monk.
Oh, Miroku.
Miroku, thank you.
I really... Honestly, from what I saw of the show, I would have preferred if it followed Miroku, Sango, and Kirara over them.
Those are some of my favorite episodes, are the Miroku Sango episodes.
Look, I love them.
And you're not the only one. But yeah, so in a junky, teen romance way, it was all fun to watch. Young adult novel kind of style romance stuff. It was fun. But yeah, there's a Moroku episode where he's got the big hole in his hand, and that's tragic and whatnot.
The first time I learned about that, I freaked out. I that was so cool to me.
Yeah. And so he uses it, and of course it's basically OP, so for a while they were like, well, why don't we just solve all of our problems this way, other than his impending death, which will happen anyway, so let's get some use out of him. And they, the villain comes up with little flying insects that can be,
oh yeah, if he sucks them in or whatever,
it'll poison him. And so they have an episode.
I saw that episode. Oh my gosh!
You say it like it's just one though.
Oh, there was more than. Okay, well I saw one of them. I didn't know this.
So here's the problem. Yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping for. There's one episode where they're introduced, or shortly after they're introduced, that's pretty dang good, because I think the relationship between him and Sango and the flirty, tsundere nonsense going on there is great. And so, of course, he shows his true feelings and blah, 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 and sacrifices himself to save her or the group or whatever, and absorbs these insects. And so it makes him incredibly sick, and, it might kill him or something. But then, so yeah, we know he's probably not going to die, and lo and behold, spoilers, he doesn't. But then, 6 episodes later, I swear to God, he swallows like twice as many, and like he's over it by the end of the episode. Like,
Oh, wow.
they just had a major problem with like, and I might not again be getting that exactly right, but that is the style of problem that show had, where it's just like it's kind of like you undercut yourself, you wander. I remember one of the episodes I really liked is the one where Inuyasha turns human again. Because he's
I think I've heard about that. No, you know what I did? It was one day. It was like the moon cycle or the solar
Something like
eclipse
that,
or something
yeah.
that caused it. And he had black hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah!
And no ears.
I don't remember him not having ears, but I remember him having black
Not
hair.
having cat dog ears.
Well, yes, I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
Yeah.
I remember him having black hair, and that was it.
Yeah, he had black hair. I think it happens a few times.
Like he
in the
was
show.
mopey. I wouldn't doubt that it happens multiple
And
times.
at the very least, he gets attacked in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, the whole problem is he's got to deal with this
Being
horrible,
a human. Oh no.
well, while this horrible demon's attacking them, and unlike everybody else on the team, he sucks when he's human. So I just remember that one being kind of good, and like again, in teenage romancy ways, and in just good plot, good consequences, good movement. And I have other little memories. Again, so Shomaru was kind of interesting. I remember him being on every girl's binder, apparently not yours, but everyone at my school. And it was kind of, I hadn't watched much, so I didn't expect him to befriend a small child and basically adopt her.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Yeah, we should
I mean, I know he was mean to her sometimes, but like he protected her.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. We should probably make that like a throw-on TV show that we can watch. Like,
yeah, when we're just like goofing around.
Maybe skip 40 episodes.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know anything about the plot other than they're going after the shards.
Congrats, you know the plot.
Exactly, that's the thing, because it's like there's like hundreds of episodes, right?
I don't remember how. There's a lot, but there's not hundreds. It's not
See, I thought it was like multiple seasons.
It's multiple seasons, but I want to say it's like maybe 70 to 100 tops.
Okay, so that's not as bad as I
No.
I don't know, like the way people
It might be
describe
way
it to
less.
me, it's literally just going after a shard, going after a shard. They're about to complete it, and then it gets broken again. So then they're just back to going after the shards. So
Yeah.
It never goes anywhere. That is the feeling I get.
193 episodes.
Okay, almost 200.
That is so much filler. How do they do that?
Every show has them. Okay, not every show, but a lot of them do.
Inuyasha was pretty bad about it. That was kind of part of the problem.
That's what I heard.
Like, wow, what do we... And, well, to be fair, the reason people liked it is because it still did an okay job on the day-to-day problems of being entertaining. Unlike other things where, like, oh my god, filler, it's not moving the main plot, I don't care. Like, yeah, it's the 400th time you've watched Sango and Moroku bicker about something stupid, or you've watched Inuyasha and Kagome, like, throw a hissy fit at each other, but they usually execute it well. Eventually, everyone's got a different tolerance for running into this crap over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, but yeah. So yeah, that's Inuyasha. Next up, how much time do we
You have about 3 minutes.
Next time we'll be talking about Trigun. Because I don't think we can think
I've seen Trigun. That's Vash the Stampede, right?
Not Leo or Lulu Vash.
I almost said Leo or Lulu
I know
Vash,
you
but
did.
he is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, he is. So I'll quickly just
Leorio.
take...
I said it! I had to say it slowly, but I said it!
You did, dude. I'm so proud of you. Let's go get a sticker.
I like stickers.
I know you do. So I'll just finish up with, after that was going to be Durarara, which is by the person who did Bakano. I've already whined about it enough, but yeah, it's a lot of eclectic characters in a city, in modern Tokyo, I believe, or modern society at the very least. And it is very interesting. I think the first season was really good, or the first half of the first season, one of the two. But everything after that, I was kind of like, okay, that was cool, and you're going, and you're still going, and I don't see why I should care. So like, if anything about Bakano sounded interesting to you, or if you've watched Bakano and somehow don't know about Durarara, where are you from? How do you survive?
I'm a military brat. I'm from everywhere.
Yes, dear. It's not Earth. But yeah, no, it's worth a watch. Like, if I would recommend it if, you know, you've gone through other stuff and you don't have anything better, but I just happen to think that there's lots of stuff that's better too. It does feature a Russian sushi restaurant and a headless motorcycle rider, and
Okay.
it doesn't hold back on its wackiness compared to Bakano.
I believe you.
I believe that you believe me.
Yeah.
But do you believe that I believe that I believe
No.
in you, that you believe
So,
in me? Aw.
For some reason, when you were talking, it made me think of this anime that I only saw like 3 episodes of. It was like FLCL?
Fully
FCL?
Cooley? You haven't seen Fully Cooley?
I've seen bits and pieces. He fights with like a baseball bat at points, right?
It's 8 episodes. We're watching that.
Oh, okay. I remember being in middle school in Vegas, and it came on TV every once in a while, like right as I was going to bed, and it was super weird.
We're talking about that next time. I have great stories about Fully Cooley.
But I mean, if I haven't seen it, okay. So next time then.
And that is the end of day 16 of the 4 Heavenly Beasts Heaven and Earth design. I got 6 hours and 43 minutes, so much better than last week. And it looks like I got a lot, actually. So, we're making progress, slowly but surely. I had to take out stitches for like almost 40 minutes. I had done, let's see, it was slightly to the right and down one, I think. Like it was just barely off. And so I took them all out. Was that called frogging? I had to frog my stitches. I don't know. That was not a term I grew up with. That was something I learned from Flosstube. So that took a while, but that still means I stitched for like 6 hours, and I'm okay with that. So hopefully I finish page 3 soon. That'd be really awesome. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I'm enjoying, yes, I mentioned that in my intro that I was starting Mistborn, and I'm like 13 hours into the first book, and I think we decided, what is the audiobook, like 24 hours almost? So it's a long book. It took me a while to warm up to it. Like I almost immediately liked Dresden, so I was kind of like, when's it gonna pull me in? When's it gonna pull me in? And it was, what, 2 hours ago that I was like, yeah! So that was like almost 10 hours into the book, which is really sad, but I was enjoying it, but like, I kept saying it was interesting. I didn't like it and I didn't dislike it.
That's fair.
It was, I don't know. It jumps between character point of views a lot, and it's not always immediately obvious who it is, so that confuses me, and then I'm just like, and I don't like being confused. I'm stupid, so I don't handle it well. Love you.
Love yourself.
I can acknowledge that I'm stupid. It's fine. Okay, I don't have anything else to talk about. It's interesting. I'm going to keep listening later. I'm really tired right now. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.